Okay guys, so I had to redo my intervals, so I'm sorry about cutting the video off like that. Let's go ahead and look at our intervals. So from 0 to 9, here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. I've got 5 numbers here. Got 5 numbers there. So if I look automatically, I've got choices of A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay, choice A says that there are 5 numbers for the first interval, so choice A is correct. Okay, choice B says that there are only 3 numbers that occur in that first interval, and that's not true. We said we had 5, so B cannot be our choice. All right, C is saying the same thing, you guys. C is saying that the frequency from 0 to 9 is only 3, and that's false. We see that there are 5 numbers here, okay? All right, D says that there's only 1 number that falls between 0 to 9. Again, not true. We've got 5 here. And E, guys, is saying the same thing as well. It's saying that there's only 3 numbers that occur from 0 to 9. So E would not work either. So just immediately, guys, with the first interval, we got rid of 4 choices, okay? So let's keep going. Let's look at the next interval. We're gonna say our next interval is 10 to 19. So right here, we've got 4 numbers. So 4 numbers here. All right, let's see. So from 10 to 20, we got 4 numbers. A, letter choice A, is saying from 10 to 20 that there are 3 numbers. So maybe there might be a mistake. Let's check F and just double check. F is saying from 10 to 20 or 10 to 19, we've got 4 numbers. So A is wrong and F should be our answer. If you're not certain, let's continue with the third interval and let's support that it is F and not A, okay? Because I like to make sure. All right, so the next number is 20, or next interval is 20 to 29, and that would just be 24. So that means only 1 number would fall in that interval. So again, if I look at A, just to double check, from 20 to 29, it says that there are 4 numbers that fall from 20 to 29. So that is not true. Let's look at F. From 20 to 29, it does confirm it. It does say only 1 number. So I don't even need to continue with the rest of my data, but I can look to see that so far F has been true. F will be my answer. Okay, so guys, that's how you do frequency tables and reading histograms, is take your data, put it in order from least to greatest, and look at the intervals that you're given on your histogram, and they are below. So for example, A looked like this. It said frequency on my y-axis, and then below they had intervals, and they actually will give you true intervals like 0 to 9, 10 to 19, and so on. Okay, so you can copy those and see which numbers would fall in each interval and see what the frequency is and if it matches. Okay, so again, F would be my answer for number 18. So let's scroll down to number 19. Number 19 says, using the scatter plot to the left, answer the following questions. So let me see if I can get a sheet protector for this, guys, because I do want to write on my screen, but that doesn't really work very well. All right, so if we can look at, on my laptop, if I can look at number, oh, technical difficulties, bear with me. All right, so let's look. So number 19 says, using the scatter plot to the left, answer the following questions. It says, how many students have 1 sibling? So before I do anything, I need to look at my axes. By axes, I mean the left and right, or the y and x. Okay, so my x-axis, sorry guys, technical difficulties, says grade point average, and my y says number of older siblings. Again, the question says how many students have one sibling. So we're going to look at one sibling, and we're going to look at how many students have one sibling. If it helps to turn it sideways, you can. So I'm going to see everything that is at 1. Got one dot, one data point, another that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 students that have one sibling. Okay? Now the next question says how many students have a 4.0 grade point average? Okay, so 4.0. Now we are moving from number of older siblings to grade point average. So if we look at 4.0, I'm going to count to see how many people have a 4.0. And I only see 2 students. So my answer for that would be 2. Okay, so the only thing you guys need to remember with this is that you read a scatter plot. You can read it horizontally, or you can read it vertically. Okay, so I could even ask you something like this, all right, and this will be interactive. How many students have a 4.0 and more than 2 siblings? Okay, so you would look at 4.0. So I have 2 students that have a 4.0. One of them has 2 siblings and the other has 3. And my question said, how many students have more than 2 siblings with a 4.0? So it would be that 1 student. Okay, and here's another question we can ask, something along the lines of students with a GPA above 3.5. So we've got that student there, that student there, the student there, these 2, one more there, here and here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 8 students that have it above a 3.5. But what if I said, out of these 8 students, how many of them have at least 1 sibling? And by at least 1 sibling, it's 1 or more. So it would disclude or uninclude. I'm sorry guys, like I said, it's been a long day, a lot of brain farts. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. So at least 1 sibling is 1 or more. So that would be 4 students that have above a 3.5 and have at least 1 sibling. Okay, let's move on. Number 21, and we are at the last 2 questions. It says what percent of the boxes contain 27 or less raisins? So we're going to do this one on my desk. All right. Okay, so number 21 says what percent of the boxes contain 27 or less raisins? So I'm going to recreate the dot plot, and it says we've got 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and we've got a 31. We've got 1 raisin here, 2 raisin boxes there, 3, then we've got 5, then we've got 4, and then 1 and 1. Now, the question again said how many or what percent of boxes contain 27 or less? That means 27 or less. I'm going to find the percent of these raisin boxes. All right, so just a refresher on percents. It is always part over whole is equal to some percent out of 100%. All right, so the question says, what percent, I don't know, that's why I put a variable there, of the raisin boxes have 27 or less. So I'm going to count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of the boxes, or 6 out of the total boxes, have 27 or less. Now I need to find the whole. That means the total amount of boxes that were, I'm sorry, again, another blank. Total amount of boxes that were surveyed. There we go. And there were 17 boxes. Okay, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, if I go ahead and solve my percent, guys, we talked about proportions. You know how to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and cross multiply and divide by the unused number. So I've got 600. 6 times 100 gives me 600. Divided by 17, I get x is equal to about 35.3%. So we have about 35.3% of those boxes that fall just here. Okay? Number 22. Let's analyze what Susie says. It says that Susie says that 15%. Susie says that 15% of the boxes contain 30 or more, meaning it includes 30 or more. She says that this little section is 15%. And we're going to double check Susie because we don't know. Okay? Is she correct? Why or why not? We have 2 data points. We're going to see what the actual percentage, okay, is. So 2 boxes, and we already know that it was 17 total, part of her whole. And we're trying to figure out what percent those 2 boxes are out of 100%. So we got 2, again, cross multiply, divide by the unused number. We've got 2 times 100, which gives me 200, divided by 17. We've got x is equal to 11.8%. Susie says that 15% of the boxes contain 30 or more. Susie is incorrect, because only 11.8% is contained in this section. So it's not 15, it's actually just 11.8. All right, so guys, I hope that was helpful. I know it's a little harder with these since we have displays, and it took a little longer, but if you have questions, ask me during homeroom, rewatch the video. I will try to post some more helpful videos if you guys are confused on a specific content. But I need you to complete your study guides as well. All right? Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good day. See you tomorrow.